Hey everybody, Larkin Greene here again. Today I want to talk to you about a very valuable tool in the world of adhesives. If you do any pour-in pads, if you're doing glue-on shoes, large or small repairs, or entire rebuilds with adhesives, then you need a moisture meter. It's the best way to effectively monitor how dry you're getting the surface that the adhesive is going to go on. So we know that at this time of year when things start getting wetter, we start seeing a lot of failure in adhesive applications, and it's largely due to excess moisture. Even if a foot seems to be relatively dry, if you've removed any hoof structure at all, whether it's hoof wall or if you've pared out sole, there is moisture there, and we need to get rid of that before we apply any adhesives if we want it to last for the duration of the trim or the shoeing cycle. So this is a FootPro Moisture Meter. This falls into the category of simple and inexpensive is much better. You can spend $60 or more on a fancy moisture meter that has sensors, doesn't have to be in contact with the surface, but the most reliable one that you can get is something that's very simple like this. So moisture meters came about as a way to monitor the moisture level in lumber for the most part. So it uses these two prongs which need to be in contact with the surface to give a measurement, and so the moisture level is measured in percentages. So to turn this on, we simply press the on button, and you'll notice that it's got a really nice clear LCD display. It's got what's called a non-parallax LCD, and that means that you can read it in any glare conditions. It can be in bright sunlight, and you'll still be able to read it clearly. So there are a number of modes on most moisture meters that indicate whether you're using it on hardwood or softwood. For our purposes, the second mode, mode 2, is the most universal. And so if we hold this on, say, a green piece of redwood, then you can see it's about 12% moisture, which is not dry enough as far as a horse's hoof is concerned. We've got to get down below 10%. We've got to get to single digits. If you look at a piece of dry lumber, you can see it's 0. Damp sponge, so I've basically wrung all the water out of this, but it's still about 26% moisture. Apple slice, about 30% moisture. So as far as using this on a horse's hoof, you're going to find that it's probably between 20 and the average horse probably between 20 and 30% moisture. If you're in the areas, dry areas like the Southwest, you're going to find that it's maybe down in the teens. If you're in areas like the Northwest or the Southeast, it could be around 30%. So that at least tells you how much drying you have to do. So because these prongs are fairly sharp, you do want to be careful. I don't ever hold this vertically over the surface, because if the horse jerks, I don't want to stab him with those prongs. So I tend to hold it at a shallow level, which makes it easier to read anyway. And so if we're doing a glue-on shoe, then this is the area we're going to want to monitor, the perimeter. If we're doing a pour-in pad, then we're going to monitor several places around the solar area. On hoof wall, if you're doing a repair and you've got missing hoof wall, then of course you're going to want to monitor the dryness of that defect. For the most part, on actual hoof wall, it's going to read 0 unless the foot is really saturated, but that still needs to be dry and warm if you're going to apply adhesive to it. So it's a really effective tool, and one of the things that I've done, one of the problems I've had over the years with these caps, and I'm glad this is orange because I can see it when it's in my tool bag, but one of the things I've done is I drilled a little hole in this and put a rubber band through it, and it's really handy because when you take this off, basically I put this around my finger, and so while I'm using it I have it attached to my finger, so I don't have to set the cap down and wonder where it is or worry about it getting stepped on or something like that. So So that's just a little adjustment that I made. But really effective tool for monitoring moisture. And then to turn it off, just hold it for a couple seconds and it turns it off. Uses a couple of AA or AAA batteries, I believe. So this is really the best way to ensure that you're going to get a long life out of the adhesive applications that you're doing.